Hey, hello students. How are you all? Today we are going to see the fifth part of Russian Revolution. So let's begin. So in our last lecture, we have seen how the Russia is moving towards the revolution. So in that, let's take the summary of that. Let's try to understand why Russia reached to such a point where they had to abdicate the monarch and where they had to abolish monarchy. So how the Russian Revolution is taking shape. So let me give you one quick revision of this. Okay. So what were the reasons behind Russian Revolution? The first important reason was Tsarist autocracy. All the decisions were just being taken by the Tsar and he was not accountable to the people. So if you and second thing, if you see the composition of society, there were different people and in them means among them if you see only the nobility and the church they were having land. It was owned by the these two kinds of people, two kinds of societies. Then if you see the industries, there you can see the working condition of the workers, facilities they are getting there, and the facility in their residential area, if you see that it was very poor, and at the same time there were long hours to work, 15 hours, 12 hours, like this. So there was a demand of the people that these hours should be decreased. So that was the third reason. Then in such a condition, on 1905 there was a bloody Sunday, you know it very well. People went to the Winter Palace very peacefully to put their demands or condition in front of the monarch, sorry, Tsar, but he was not present there, and very unfortunate incident took place. That was Bloody Sunday. So after this event, Tsar was ready to give the right to the people to start their own assembly, or we can say constituent assembly, where monarch will be responsible, but he will be having veto power. So it's a kind of constitutional monarchy, which took place in England, which was going on in England. Then in France also it took place, isn't it? So such kind of constitution, or we can say the system they wanted, government they wanted. So Duma was given by the Tsar to Russian people, but twice within 3 months or within 75 days it was replaced. And when third Duma was elected, in that third Duma, the Tsar he just elected pro-Tsarist people, those who supported the Tsar. So in this way, you can see, just to repress this 1905 revolution, okay, 1905 revolution, he just gave the Duma for temporary period, and finally he just packed the Duma with conservative people. So in this way, he just deceived, cheated with the people. Then there was a split in RSDWP, okay, and World War started, and Russia participated in that war, and finally Russia was about to lose that war. So seeing this, there was unrest among the people. So how the war was going on, what was the condition of Russia, that we have seen. Now in this, let's talk about the condition of Russia. What was the condition of Russia in First World War? Let's talk about this. In right side you can see there is a picture. Okay, so in this picture you can see there are please just focus on their uniform, because something is going to come in my next lecture, in my next slide, where you have to distinguish between this uniform and that uniform. So please see carefully how uniform they are wearing. Okay, so let's talk about the conditions of Russian army and society. In 1916, Russia was losing war very badly. The reason behind it was Russians, they were fighting on open space, whereas if you see at the western side they were having their own trenches and they were fighting from the trenches. That's why you can see the casualties of Russia, they were 7 million by 1917. 7 million people died, means almost 70 lakh. Okay, and that's why there was unrest. So at the same time, the revolution was going on in Russia. So when these soldiers realized about this, they thought we are already losing the war, but still our government is not ready to retreat. and we are about to die because of this monarch. So these soldiers thought that we'll come back and will join the revolution. So when they started their retreat, they destroyed many crops and buildings while coming back. Because when they were coming back, retreating, German forces also they were ready to attack upon them. And when they were coming back, they need something to eat, isn't it? So while coming back, they had to cut the crops. They have to take shelter in the buildings. So they were just destroyed by these soldiers while coming back. At the same time, when these soldiers came to Russia, there were 3 million refugees because all these people, their buildings were destroyed, they didn't have any home to reside in, so they were completely away from their home, they didn't have any home. So they were refugees, 3 million refugees, 30 lakh people. How to manage with them? And again, in addition to that, countries cut off supply as Germany seized Baltic Sea. See, what is the condition? As I told you, France was new ally of Russia. So France was helping Russia to develop in industrial development. So in such a condition, when Germany occupies the Baltic Sea, European countries were not able to enter into Russia. So the supply was cut off. If you compare European industrial equipments with Russian equipments, you will come to know that Russian industrial equipments they disintegrated more rapidly than Europe. Then railway lines broke up and able-bodied all the person, those who were able-bodied in Russia, they were called for the war. So there was a labor shortage in industries, and that's why these industries were just collapsing, disintegrating. Workshop producing essentials were shut down because there are no people. All are going, those who can work, they all are just fighting on the border with Germany. So these workshops just shut down. Then large supplies of grain to feed army. It was just being sent to the borders to feed the army. And because of all these conditions, in social life we can say, or in civil life, people were not having bread to eat, flour to eat in cities. So in 1916 there were so many riots in Russia and they were common. So in this way, Russian Revolution is taking place in 1916, and finally, as you know, we call it hukum ka ikka, that is military. When they go against any power, then of course it will be either replaced or it can be abdicated. So it's the history of the world. When military goes against the king, goes against the ministers, then that rule, that government is going to be demolished. That's the history everywhere. So when army goes against the Tsar, he has to be abdicated. Okay. So this was the condition of Russia in First World War. So here you can see the picture. The Imperial Russian Army came to be known as the Russian Steamroller. It was the largest armed force in the world. When this army shifted its loyalty and began supporting the revolutionaries, Tsarist power collapsed. And I would like to tell you something about the Russian army. You know, Russian army was the one which defeated Napoleon, the person who wanted to conquer the whole world. And at that time, if you go back in history, you will come to know the Russian army, it was so prominent. There were kind of cavalry called Cossacks. They were very trained soldiers. It was a cavalry, horse riding soldiers. They were very expert in warfares. Okay, so they just defeated the Napoleon. So it's a different history. But I would like to tell you that Russian army, it was very biggest army in the world at that time, and very we can say very strong army. Okay, chalo fine. Now what how see when we are talking about the Russian Revolution, it must be clear to you that if you see apparently Russian Revolution, when we say like this, then we consider three revolutions. One, 1905, okay, 1905 when the Duma was given by the Tsar, that was the change, first revolution. Then after almost 12 years, okay, again in Russia in February month there is second revolution, and in October there is a third revolution, October 1917 and February 1917. Now let's talk about the February revolution 1916. Okay, the February revolution in Petrograd, sorry, not 16, 17, yeah, the February revolution in Petrograd. See, first let's try to understand the geography of St. Petersburg. Okay, in between there is a Neva river, and to the right side of Neva river there are workers quarters and factories where less developed class of the society will reside. There you can't see many facilities or the we can say fashionable areas, you can't see there. There are only quarters for the workers, dormitories and factories where the workers are living. To the left side of Neva River, fashionable areas are there, Winter Palace is there, then all official buildings and Duma Palace. All these buildings are located to the left side of Neva River. Okay, so this is the structure of St. Petersburg. Okay, so in such a condition, when we are going to talk about the February Revolution, in February there was food shortage in workers' quarters. You know the reason why there was food shortage. Now again, I don't have to tell you that. And winter was very cold, and in this year there was exceptional frost. You know, again I would like to tell you this. In Russia, winter is very cold. Very cold. Means when Napoleon came to Russia to attack, and he attacked on Moscow. So he came with, historians say, that he had 6 lakh people with him. People means soldiers. Okay, 6 lakh. But when he came back, only few thousands were remaining with him, just because of this frosting winter. Temperature went below -30, -20 in such a cold frost. Many soldiers died. So from this you will come to know how severe winter is there in Russia. So winter is very exceptional in Russia. Then parliamentarian, they were against the Tsar because the Tsar dissolved Duma twice, thrice. Because of this, there was unrest among the parliamentarian about the Tsar. Okay, so that was the first reason. Then 22nd February, there was a lockout in a factory at Right Bank in workers' quarters. So means see what happened exactly. On 22nd Feb, when you are closing any factory, then what about the employees, those who are working there, because they are going to be unemployed now. So to support them, on 23rd February 50 factories worker came out for the strike in sympathy for these workers. Then at the same time there were women strike, and they were asking for the facilities, and that's why this day is also called Women's Day, International Women's Day, that we celebrate nowadays, 23rd Feb. Because you know very well, women, they were also kind of worker in these factories. Okay, so that was the second reason. See, means how the steps are going on. Then on 24th Feb, Nevsky Prospect. See, this is one of the most important area of St. Petersburg. We can say the square. Okay, so on 24th Feb, Capital Road, it was Nevsky Prospect. On that road, workers, they just surrounded official buildings, fashionable quarters, and there was curfew declared by Tsar. So on 24th, Tsar called for the cavalry. They came there and asked them to attack upon them, this crowd. So on 25th Feb, Duma was suspended again by the Tsar. Means again, those who are the representative of the people, again they are suspended. Their rights are suspended. Then on 26th Feb, these demonstrators were on left bank. They came to the left bank. Okay, means to this side of the Neva River. 27th, police headquarters were looted by these workers. And when these people, they are doing demonstration on the road, they were giving slogans for the bread, wages, better hours, and democracy. So in such a condition, on 27th Feb, again there was a call for the cavalry. they were called and they were asked to fire upon them. But these soldiers, they just refused it to fire and they joined these forces, striking workers. And there only, these people they came together and they formed Petrograd Soviet. It will be very interesting to know that when this revolution is going on in February, there is no leader, huh? No Lenin, no Stalin. What's his name? Oh my God, I'm just forgetting. Trotsky. Yes, he was not there. Nobody is there. It is just upsurge of the people. It is the upsurge of the fury of the people. It just came out and they just went on the road and they started their demonstration procession and they just went against the Tsar. So in this way, soldiers also joined these strikers. And now, in such a condition, next day, military commanders abdicated Tsar on 2nd March. Please keep this date in your mind. 2nd March 1917. Tsar was abdicated and provisional government was set up, which will take care of Russia in such a condition. Because, of course, to start the mechanism of election, it needs some time. So, to run the country, because Tsar is abdicated now, whom to listen? So, to give the direction to the people, to the soldiers, to the different mechanism of the country, they started provisional government and they gave the right to the people of universal adult franchise voting system. And finally, in this way, in 1917, monarchy was brought down by the people. So this is what about the February Revolution in Petrograd. Clear? Yes. Now here I would like to show you some pictures. This is about February Revolution. See, you can see the demonstrations, how the people they are walking on the road and they are protesting against the Tsar. These many people they came on the road. So the first picture, the biggest one, you can see it is the Nevsky Prospect, that area. Okay. This is the Petrograd Soviet meeting in Duma, February 1917. As I told you, they set up Petrograd Soviet and they all are meeting there to talk about upcoming conditions. So here is one extract for you. Women in February Revolution. What was the role of the women? There was one lady, her name was Marfa Vasileva. What she says women workers often inspired their co-male workers. At the Lawrence telephone factory, Marfa Vasileva almost single-handedly called successful strike. Already that morning in celebration of Women's Day, women workers had presented red bows to the men. Then Marfa Vasileva, a milling machine operator, stopped work and declared an impromptu strike. Sudden strike. There was no planning behind this strike. So the employer gave her bread to eat so that her voice can be repressed. She took the bread and she just ate it, but she didn't stop the strike. She was very smart. She said, if I ate it, it doesn't mean I cannot be the only one who is satiated when the others are hungry. If my brothers and sisters, if they are hungry, only how can I be satisfied with your bread? So the strike goes on and soon the men downed their tools as well and the entire crowd rushed onto the street. So that was the role of women in February Revolution. So I hope till here everything is very clear to you. So if you have any doubt regarding this, I know very well as this is the very complicated history and many times you can see because there can be a question in your mind when we talk about Russian Revolution. Then when Russian Revolution took place exactly? Actually, they are three revolutions. One, 1905, second, February 1917, and third, October 1917, that is going to take place after this revolution. And what changes happened after February Revolution, that also we will discuss in our next lecture. Till then, thank you so much. Have a nice day.